The most important part of an ultra race is the bike, the nutrition, the gear. Via Race was my third ultra, and I think I finally realised what actually matters and what doesn't. Via Race is a 4,000 kilometre self-supported race across Europe. You get no external support and you decide the route you take. If you want to know more about the race itself or how my journey went, click somewhere up here. To make a long story short, I finished Via Race in 8th position. But that doesn't tell the full story. I felt like a lot of things went right.
Powering along in the moment, we're in a bit of a groove.
And a lot of things went wrong.
Busy spot. It's not that successful.
So if you're looking to improve in ultra racing, what is the most important part? Your gear can make or break your ultra, and for me, Via was no different. My bike, outstanding. The titanium frame felt like it was flying at times. My bike bags, ample space to store absolutely everything I needed. And my office, the hoods and aero bar setup, worked absolute wonders. It allowed me to use my GPS, phone, camera, and eat all from the aero bar position.
Yay!
Better yet, my tyres survived 4,000 kilometers without any punctures. My bike alarm allowed me to resupply without ever worrying that the bike was going to get nicked. And my bike clothing did an amazing job given the weather that we were provided.
I think this is hail.
My dynamo light and charger worked wonders, my peanut butter tub food solution was incredible, and my bike bib shorts and saddle provided no issues. For the large part, the gear I used never impacted or detracted from my race. But I did make some decisions which did. I made a last minute decision to leave my sleeping bag at home, opting to just take a down jacket and my bivvy, and some of the nights in the Alps were absolutely freezing. I regretted that for sure. My gearing, I'm normally a gravel rider, hence the gravel bike, and I'd completely forgotten to address gearing for this race. There was a few times on the flats where I ran out of gears, definitely. And finally, I probably took too much stuff. I think I always do. These gear choices add up, but are they the most important? Ultra nutrition is simultaneously simple and incredibly complex. You need to be as well fueled as possible, whilst also understanding it's nigh on impossible to consume the calories you need. You also need to make sure your stomach can handle whatever you're feeding it. Now for me, that meant eating whatever was available. I tried to stick to quote unquote normal food wherever possible. I stopped mainly at fast food places and supermarkets along the way to eat pizza, kebab, whatever supermarket food would fuel me, to make sure I was getting fats and proteins as well as carbs. Smart caffeine usage also gave me an edge in the race whenever I needed it, which was mainly at night. But sometimes I relied on high carb, sugary food to get me through tough spots, which did leave me with some mouth ulcers and sugar burns along the way. I ran out of food a few times over the race and I really struggled in those situations, and that smart caffeine usage that I mentioned earlier worked for about 90% of the race. But when I really needed it on that last day heading towards the finish line, the effects had dissipated.
Everything hurts. I want to stop and we need to keep going. 2 hours left.
If your nutrition falters, it can impact you heavily. And if your gear fails, it can end your race. But if you don't have a strategy, can you even start? For Via Race, you have to self-route, which is a huge part of strategy. Big decisions like which valley should I take to get over these mountains, or should I take that gravel shortcut to reduce elevation or distance? These decisions will 100% impact the outcome of your race. And I curse myself so many times during the race for decisions that pre-race me had made months before in a warm house at my desk. I cannot stress enough the importance of nailing your routing so that you have 100% confidence in it during the race. It's huge. But what else should you plan? Should you have an Excel spreadsheet that outlines your rough moving speed, sleeping schedule, and a predicted finishing time? I did, and I'm proud to say that I finished within 1 hour of that ambitious time. Did I adhere to my pacing plan that I set out for day one? Absolutely not. I pushed too hard and overcooked it. Did I adhere to the sleeping schedule that I set out the whole time? Absolutely not. I managed to sleep for 4 hours most of the time, but my strategy changed and I reduced down to 3 hours towards the end. In my opinion, without a route, you can't even start the race, and maybe you can finish without a plan. But why would you? It gives you an overarching idea of what the race will look like, and that imagery is incredibly powerful when things get tough. But gear, nutrition, and strategy only get you so far. The most important part of an ultra is... Oh, sorry, it's the wrong side. Now this may sound like a cliche, mindset, not subscribing. Subscribing is definitely not a cliche, but I've seen so many incredibly strong riders with the best gear, perfect nutrition, a dialed in strategy, face a problem and not finish the race. Because if their mindset isn't there, the minute they hit that problem, their tower collapses. I am not saying I could have completed via race without the bike, bags or tires that I used. Nor do I think that without thinking about my nutrition or my strategy that I could have placed inside the top 10. But here's the cold hard truth. At some point in an ultra race, your gear, nutrition or strategy will fail. And it's in those moments where your mindset is the only thing that can carry you through. There were many times in this race where I didn't think I could keep going, but by reframing, chunking my days, or grounding myself in the keywords that I used, I was able to. But it does make me wonder how many ultra riders before the race prepare all of their gear, dial in their nutrition, glean over their strategy, and never fully test their mindset. So what's the most important part of ultra racing? For me, it's the mindset. I finished my first ultra with 9 punctures over 500 kilometers. I finished my second ultra with a severe lack of preparation on a brand new bike and with shoes that were way too narrow for my feet. Via race in July was my third, and I felt like I had incredible gear, nutrition and strategy. But things still went wrong. There were still times where I felt like I couldn't finish, and my mindset is what got me through those times. The common thread across all these ultras is that the only thing that really decides if you finish is your head. If you're preparing for an ultra, I hope this little video essay helped you along the way, and if you're just watching for fun, hopefully this gives you an insight into what a 4,000 kilometer race takes. Either way, please like, please subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think is the most important part of an ultra. And as always, I'll catch you beautiful people in the next one.